hate to break the fishing news after Remchuk, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep.
All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
But as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome into a Monday edition of the podcast. The podcast is Real Life, and it's brought to you by Odd Company Brewing and the all-new Nation Beer that's called the Nation Beer Everyday Lager, and it's perfect for your next big game or your new go-to lager. Find it today on Liquor Connect. A liquor store by you will have it, and bars are starting to bring it in the form of kegs. Isn't that interesting?
Very. What is it?
Nation Beer, our new beer, Chalmers.
Oh, yeah.
You're not even listening.
No, I was thinking.
You're sitting beside the guy doing the ad read.
I asked you guys the last time I was here all about Nation Beer. So this is a huge announcement in kegs.
Yep. In bars, select bars.
Because I like a draft in a bar better than I like a can.
Because here's the thing. Going to a bar, you're inherently paying more. I can have a can of it at home. I can't have it on tap at home. So if I'm going to pay more, I want it to be a special treat.
Yeah, big fan of On Tap.
If you're wondering why Chalmers sounds like that today, he spent the weekend yelling at kids.
Yes, it did.
That judge said no more, and you said, I will.
I know exactly how coaches in like March Madness feel when you play 5 games over 3 days. And it's not like I'm yelling anything other than when to change, when to pinch, just like far side. But man, it takes a toll on you when you lose your voice. I lost it on Sunday or on Saturday and still had one more game to play Sunday. So it was a mess.
You're giving Dallas Aikens vibes.
Yeah. We were in Hinton for an all-star invitational. Yeah. Yeah. Great place, great facility. And honestly, the kids just pool and mini sticks. It's really fun to watch, and the parents get together and
have a couple Ryan
Cokes and have some fun. We play a game on the road called Catchphrase. You guys ever played it?
I think I know what it is.
Ultimately, what it is it's a little tiny handheld circular device that has 4 buttons. One is the go button, one changes the category, one keeps score, and one is just the next button. And so when you push go, a word will come up, and you'll try to get people on your team to say the word. And if they say it, you pass it over to the next person, they push next, and so on and so on. But if the timer goes up, whoever's left holding the device, the other team gets a point.
Okay.
The way you do the teams is you sit in a circle, and if there's 14 people, every second person is on a team.
Yep.
And so we probably at one point had 24 people sitting around a table. It was chaos. It was so much fun because people are yelling and we're all having a good time with our cocktails. And man, it's like you have all these games you want to play. It becomes the only one anybody wants to play. It's a lot of fun.
Was this a bus trip or was this a drive out yourself?
No, this is a drive out yourself. We at U13, you don't really send the kids on buses. At U15, there's some organizations that have mandatory bus trips where the kids go on the bus with the coaches.
And the parents don't?
Parents drive.
Oh, that seems a little backwards. I remember from my days playing minor hockey, I think what the parents liked the most about the bus trip was that they could all sit on there and drink for the 6-hour trip.
Yeah, no, I don't know any tournaments where you go on it with the kids on the bus. I believe it's team only. I could be wrong. I don't totally know.
Yeah, I didn't play very high level of hockey, so that makes sense. Hinton's a nice spot though.
It's a nice spot.
Tournament early in the year, very important.
It is for team building, and I'll say, we're a team that's pretty young. We lost a lot of players to another league. Yeah, U13, pretty young, 11 and 12-year-olds, but we're young. We have a lot of first-year players. And so I always like to do a beginning of the season, a preseason tournament, basically, so that the kids can get to know each other a little bit better, because you can have as many practices as you want and games as you want. If you don't get them outside of the rink to doing activities together, they just won't communicate the same way. 2 hours in the pool is worth probably 10 practices. 2 hours playing mini sticks is worth 10 practices of kids getting to know each other and talking to each other. Also, it helps the parents out because, parents, they sit at games, and if they don't know each other, they probably don't just like go up to each other and introduce. And some of them might, but some of them don't. But this is like a perfect way to just get everybody on the same page, understanding what we're doing, get to see you outside of the rink so that they don't just see me yelling at their kids. and you know, it can solve a lot of problems that might arise later in a season.
Yeah, if everyone actually knows each other.
Yeah.
So which kid's your least favorite?
On the whole team?
Yeah.
My own. No, I'm just kidding. No. They're great. I really, really, really like this team. I'm just going to have to find a way to overcome. We're super fast, but we're really small. And I'm going to have to find a way to overcome that with strategies. And so after the first two games,
coach better.
Well,
Flying V.
Anybody that knows trying to explain hockey systems to an 11-year-old, it's difficult, right? Some of them can be very literal and some can be not literal at all. And so what you have to do is you have to give it to them in bite-sized forms, So what we did after the first two games, we realized we needed to just start to break things down into their finer points. We had chalk talks before the game. We would pull just the defense out, just the wingers out, just the centermen out, just give them a quick tutorial on what their responsibilities were, offensive and defensive zone. And they made huge strides in the second and third game and then into the final fifth game. So yeah, it's just going to be, it's going to be a lot of work, but I love it. I'm down.
And your voice is just...
Yeah, it's brutal.
You called me being like, should I come do the pod? And I was like, well, J and BM aren't here, so yes.
I literally called you and said, are people going to be annoyed with my voice to the point where I shouldn't even come?
No.
It's authentic.
Yeah. And look at that. We got 10 minutes out of it. Oh, 7. Close enough.
Awesome.
I didn't even have to go to 0.2 on my prep, which is that the Oilers won the BOA last night.
Yeah, very good game.
There was definitely more Oilers fans than Flames fans.
No doubt.
It was so loud for the Oilers.
When Zach Hyman scored, the cheer in the crowd of all the people standing up, you'd swear they were at home.
Yeah, it did sound different. I when Stu made a save and you heard the Stu chant, I was like, man, that is loud. That's really good.
Calgary's in free fall as a city, as an organization.
As a city.
Hey?
The only thing they got going for them is the noodles.
Hey.
That's about it. When they were standing in the tunnel getting ready to come out, I just looked at my sons and I was like, I could never imagine cheering for that team. Those all red jerseys are so ugly.
So the NHL put out a video a few days ago and it was players, like a bunch of star players, and they were like, hey, give your biggest rival a compliment.
So funny.
So Draisaitl's like, what? And then he's like, they're getting a new rink soon. And then McDavid actually goes, they have really nice jerseys. I like their jerseys.
Weird.
I like Leon's like, what do you want me to do? The Calgary Flames. Like, he was not into it. It's funny.
So my son asked me yesterday, when's Connor coming back? And I haven't really been paying attention. Do we have a timeline?
So it was originally 2 to 3 weeks from the injury.
Yep.
So that would have put him back on like the 18th of November.
Okay.
Well, on the 15th of November, they play Toronto in Toronto. So that's kind of the 2.5 week mark. So it's like, Connor probably wants to be back for that. But then today he was skating during the optional skate and he was flying. Tommy Guzzola put out a video and it was like, yeah, McDavid's moving well. And McDavid after said he's now more day to day and thinks he could play as early as this Saturday against Vancouver.
How is this possible? Because he eats clean, sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber?
Yeah.
That would be like just a hair under 2 weeks. So if they said 2 to 3 weeks, him coming back on Saturday is like 3 days earlier than the
Remember
early
he hit
part of
his
the
knee
window?
on the post and like willed it back together?
He's probably just been, sleeping in that chamber of his.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good news. But, it's funny. Without Connor, Leon is like a different person, eh? His first 2 shifts last night was probably the fastest I've ever seen him skate. After he scored the goal on the second shift, he covered so much ice, so much faster than I've seen him do like in the past, where you just know, you're just like, this guy is like, I don't know what his mindset is, but it's obviously like, well, I got to carry this team now, clearly.
I found myself numerous times during the game being like, they're missing something. Oh yeah, the best player of the modern age. That's who they're missing.
But with Draisaitl, I can't tell whether or not, because he does this. Like his numbers with McDavid out of the lineup in his career are unbelievable. Yeah. And you just, like you said, you just watch him and you're like, different player than we saw 2 weeks ago. I can't tell if I'm impressed or frustrated. If I'm like, whoa, this guy can just flip it up or crank it up, find another level and just go. Or if I'm like, why are you not doing this all year?
Dude, he's still doing unreal all
He
year
is,
long.
yeah. And his numbers this year are great, but I'm
Come
like,
on.
man, like he's shooting the puck more, all this stuff. And I'm like, do that when Connor's in the lineup and we might not lose a game.
I lean toward frustrated because you're so right. Like that's exactly what I thought last night.
He's so good.
Was like, look at this guy. He doesn't
He's trying
like
to raise his game in the absence of 97. You can't make him do it every game. What do you want to have? 400 points?
But what does he look at it like? Now is my opportunity to show everybody I'm not just a number 2 on this team.
No one thinks he is. Do they?
When you're
Wow. But
when you're playing with Connor McDavid, you're number 2.
Yeah, that's no disgrace.
No. He's been unreal. That line, like Arvidsson, we were patient with Arvidsson and he's just a dog.
Yeah.
Like Colson's a dog. You guys got dogs.
That's a dog.
Jeff Skinner
Dog.
is awesome.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
He goes to the net like a dog.
That goal last night was a hard
Second and third efforts out of that guy, man. Holy.
When he scores that goal, his body is like parallel to the ice. He's like, whoop, whoop. He's dog. Zach Hyman's playing like a dog. Even Nugent's playing like a dog. That pass to Hyman, floop, flutters in there right on the tape.
What a
Forget
move
about it.
too, though. Just right underneath Vladar's stick.
Yeah.
Like that's a goal scorer's goal right there.
I was a little bit worried about the way things would go without our friend Connor in the lineup, but they've won 2 in a row. And they might, like, if they can just beat one of New Jersey or Vegas in these next 2 and Connor's back on Saturday and it's like, oh, you went 3-1 and McDavid's back. They could just turn on the Jets here. I'm excited.
The best.
Of course, they could lose the next 3. Connor doesn't return until the game against Toronto and they're back under 500.
You go watch a house get knocked down and declare the whole thing a wrap by Christmas.
That was Rick who watched the house get.
Yeah,
knocked
but you could
down.
take a page out of his
I
book.
could. Although I was super pissed when I came in on a Monday and the house across the street was torn down.
You wanted to see it go down?
I wanted to see it go down.
Yeah, I
I've been
missed it
eyeing
too.
up that house for so long.
I missed it too.
Have you ever seen a house go down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool.
It's fun.
Like,
Yeah.
right off the beginning when they first take the scoop.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that house that was across the street from us, I mean, I park right next to that son of a bitch. Parked there every day for 2 years. And I've looked at that boarded up house and been like, that thing's going to come down one day and it's going to be so much fun. Then they put the fence up and I was like, ooh.
It had a demolition sign in front of it before we started building this.
Really?
Yeah. So it's been like 6 years empty.
And then it finally went down, but they did it on like a Sunday.
Did you realize that they can do it in one day?
It is crazy.
It's nuts. You have to have a hell of a controller for the dump trucks because they come down fast.
Yeah.
And you can load 8 trucks in a day and get rid of the house.
But if you have the manpower and the coordination, it's
It's quick.
it's gone. And it really is wild.
Then you just like knock everything into basically the foundation, which is just acts as now like a mixing bowl where you can just crush stuff up, pick it up, put it in the truck. It's very cool.
That would be a fun job.
That'd be the
Yeah.
funnest job. Super high on meth.
You just think every backhoe driver, I don't know if you should say that.
And now brought to you by our sponsor. Oh, Lord, no.
Yeah, no.
But I just say it would be better.
I feel like that's the NHL of like construction machinery jobs. It's like, hey, I got a house demo.
But how could
gig.
you really mess it up, though? Like
I know, but like that'd be the most fun.
everything else in the trades, though, other than demos, like super intricate. Then those guys are just like, can't make mistakes with the scoop.
For everybody that doesn't live with Rick, what are we talking about here?
Oh, Rick, the house next to the house that got knocked down when the Oilers were terrible last year.
Yeah.
Rick was standing there like with his hands behind his back watching the house come down in like an emotional tailspin. And that was the low point of the year. Tyler declared the season McDavid era over.
Yeah.
I went to bed and stared at the roof for about 2 hours being like, he's never wrong. And he isn't prone to panic.
we're getting pretty close to the 1 year anniversary of me tweeting that. Which is wild how far we've come.
Happy Twitter Day to those who celebrate.
Tyler Yaremchuk, McDavid era. It's got to come up pretty quick when I Twitter search it.
Watching a man Twitter search himself, eh?
Yeah. I wonder how many times he Googles himself.
Regularly.
Probably once a week. eh?
Fairly
And
regularly.
he goes straight to news to see if anybody's reporting on.
Yeah. Oh, Tyler Yaremchuk, another scandal. I had a dream about you, Tyler. I want to tell you about it.
Oh,
I don't know.
This is exciting.
So I watched a bunch of Victor Wembanyama content before I went to bed on Thursday because he's really interesting.
As one does.
And I had a dream that you were getting taller in my dream. So
I haven't stopped growing.
you were coming in here and you were just getting taller and taller and like hitting your head on the HVAC shit and like ducking when you came into rooms. So in my dream, I think you became like Wemby basically. When I woke up, I was like, that was weird.
So like no real point to the dream other than the fact that I was very large.
You know that video online that shows like the professor walking into school every morning and
Yeah.
saying like high class? That's kind of what it was, but it was just you getting taller and like ducking to get into here every day. That's my dream.
There's a metaphor in there somewhere, I think.
It may be latent homosexual. I have no idea.
Well,
Secretly, deep down, at 4:30 in the morning, if you turned into Wemby, I'm like, maybe I would.
you'd be in a different.
I don't think I could ever want to be that tall.
Wemby, he's amazing because he's
How tall is he?
7'6", but he's agile. That's what's weird about him. He doesn't look
But
fragile.
living day-to-day life would be so difficult.
He does look fragile.
Wow, he isn't though. Like that's what's so amazing about him. I think if you're that tall and you don't play sports, you're fucked.
Like, if you're 7'6", how can you be an accountant?
Exactly. I was just gonna say accountant.
How can you be like, well, gotta go meet at this firm, and then like you go in and you're like ducking through all the doors, and they look at you, and everyone will just think like,
Don't you play basketball?
oh my, you would be so sick of that.
So annoyed.
You got to get like special cars and shit.
You're like, actually, I like to play the violin, but I can't because it's this big in my giant hands. You ever seen footage of like NBA players drinking Cokes and stuff, and they're like so small in their hands?
Hey, did you see an interview with Aginla last night?
Yep.
Yep.
The one thing I noticed was how big his hands were. When he like athletes just have big hands.
He looks fighting fit. Like,
He looks
like
great.
he could just step back on the ice and kill somebody.
One time I had to drive Sarah Volley to something in Calgary, and we were at the Flames practice facility, and I drove Frank down to Calgary in the Nation truck. And as Frank was getting out, Ginla walked by, and Frank was like, "Hey, Jerome." And Jerome goes, "Yeah, nice truck, man." I was like, Nation truck, score one for the Nation truck. Suck it, Jerome.
Second Jerome honk.
Honk. You only get this truck if you win a Stanley Cup. Actually,
Does everybody in the NHL get a silver stick for 1,000 games?
yeah, it's a thing.
Okay, I just didn't know if it was like a team
That's
thing.
like the tradition.
Okay, it's
You
a
get silver stick.
NHL wide.
Yeah, and then when Chris Russell set the all-time shot blocks, remember they gave him silver
buckle.
No, they gave him silver shin pads.
Did they?
Yeah,
I miss that guy.
they could use them. Penalty kill stinks.
We never showed Chris
Power play
Russell respect.
stinks.
Power play scored last night at least.
Who cares?
27.
Looks like crap.
PK's 30 seconds.
Doesn't pass the eye test.
The worst penalty kill an NHL team has had in a single season over the last 25 years, so since the year 2000, the worst single season penalty kill is 71%. The Oilers are at 63. They're 8% worse than the worst penalty kill ever.
Knobloch goated question mark? Like everything's what? Paul Coffey's not getting the job.
How do we go from our penalty kill being dominant in the power play or in the playoffs?
Best power play since like Gump Worsley played.
But no, the penalty kill. Like remember Matthias Janmark? He was a wrecking ball in the
and then the
playoffs.
best power play in like 30 years and shit.
What happened?
Well, good question. Cody Cece's gone.
It's got to be.
Maybe that's why Leon wasn't very sharp early. He just missed his boy Cody Cece.
Dylan Holloway has more goals than Connor this year. Chalmers. Think about that.
Broberg got hurt this weekend.
Yeah, heard
he
it's gonna
bad?
be, heard it's gonna be months.
Really?
Not season ending, but a while.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah,
You don't like to see that.
Who's that goober on Calgary? Ball? B-A-H-L?
Kevin Ball.
Who dat?
He was once in a trade for Taylor Hall.
Hall for Ball?
It was Hall for Ball.
Fall for Hall for Ball?
I think it was when he got traded from New Jersey to Arizona that weird time. Forget Taylor Hall was a Coyote. It's a very cursed image to look at. But I think Kevin Ball went back the other way.
Why do you think Taylor Hall's played for so many teams at this point?
I think I look at it like this. If the Oilers would have, because Edmonton, made the choice to move on from him, they thought it was going to be Connor's team. If Edmonton would have made that choice with Nuge, I think Nuge suffers the same fate. Where like once you move once, for some guys, I think there's the element of like, okay, I want to win. So then he like bounced around a ton, right? Because he went to New Jersey, and then New Jersey was doing terribly.
Like wins the heart, and then they don't sign him. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and then he gets traded to Arizona, who picks him up as like a weird rental at the deadline. Then that summer, it's like Buffalo's young and up and coming. He goes, I'll take a 1-year deal there because I think they can win. Then they don't win, so they trade him to Boston, and then kind of the same thing in Boston. And now he's in Chicago. He apparently wants to stay in Chicago, but
like Chicago's on the floor of the ocean. He's not going to win shit.
yeah, I think he's now given up on the whole winning thing. It's come full circle, and he's like, you know what? Those rebuilding teams, kind of fun.
You know what's better? Money.
It's like Tyler Toffoli. He's made the playoffs like 7 of his first 12 seasons in the league. Then he signed us, 6-year deal with the Sharks or 4-year deal with the Sharks. He was like, I don't get paid extra to play in the playoffs.
That's
He's like,
true.
I've won 2 cups. I've done my thing.
And I can live in California again.
True.
Yeah, I can live in California again, and I can, be done work by April 12th. Super.
It's not a bad strategy.
I do think in sports in general, not every player is like hyper obsessed with winning.
Dude, I saw a thing about that in the NBA. I can't remember what former NBA player was talking, and he's like, if you said to 100 NBA players, would you like $30 million career earnings or a championship ring? Everyone would take the money.
Everyone.
even $30 million in the NBA is not that crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone would take the money.
Yep.
So if you're like, you want to go play out of the way where no one cares and there's no expectations of you and your coach will never yell at you,
And you still get to be a millionaire over and over and over again.
get all that cool NHL merch at the draft every year. I assume that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would be happy to get it. Ooh, the new shirt's in.
Like, I mean, there's like the McDavids and them, like very highly driven.
Different.
And like even the upper tier, like the Taylor Halls, like very, very driven. But there are a ton of guys in every sport who are happy to be there.
Well, especially on non-competing teams. Right?
Yeah.
And I think as a player, that's probably so frustrating to be sitting there and like your Kobe Bryant level Mamba mentality. And the guy next to you is just like, I'm Ben Simmons. I'm the highest paid player per game in the league, and I don't care.
And I can't shoot and I can't defend.
But I got this contract, so
I even think like a check down to that, just like guys who like in whatever sport, like, yeah, I'm a middle reliever in baseball. I make my $8 million a year. I want to pitch well so I can keep getting paid. But like, I don't know if we win the World Series, we'll win the World Series. I don't.
Speaking of middle relievers,
Oh yeah.
you had him on a day where you didn't have him on this show. You keep all the good guests for your ON every day.
Correct.
Why is that? Tyler, why are you keeping him away from me?
yeah.
Why are you stopping me from becoming best friends?
Yeah. Why so selfish?
Hey,
though?
you all could have came
selfish.
in that day.
I didn't even
shook
know he
his
was
hand,
coming.
Charles.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
hand shook
one
his
even.
hand.
How big was his hands?
He's a brick shithouse. Man.
Yeah.
His shoulders are
He's
so
solid as a
broad.
rock, eh?
His shoulders are. We're talking about Eric Sabrowski, by the
Yeah.
way. So broad his shoulders. Yeah.
I didn't know he was coming in that day. I didn't get the memo. I'm also glad I didn't come in the next day. Because you were dressed up like a cat.
Yeah, I did. I just
That wasn't even Halloween.
Did you come in and dress up, Wanye?
I saw him I took a photo of Kennedy putting his whiskers on, but no, I didn't.
I was this close on the live show that day because it was heading into that night was the first game without McDavid. And I was this close to saying I will put the cat whiskers on every day until the Oilers lose because I was like, they're probably going to lose pretty quick. Boy, am I ever happy
You'd
I didn't
be-
do that. I'd still be in the fucking cat whiskers.
Potentially after tonight as well.
Yeah, they might just not stop.
New Jersey Devils, Amazon Prime.
Okay. So you were confused when you first sat down.
I'm always confused.
I know, but you said the game's on Amazon Prime. Yes, you said, but I can still watch it on sports. And I said, no.
Who's going to be the commentators?
I think
Jeff Bezos.
I think it's John Forsland. He's good.
Okay.
The panel, when I watched the Leafs Amazon game, the first one 2 Mondays ago, the panel at the intermission was Andy Petrillo and Mark Messier.
Okay.
So I know you're in on that.
Are they with the Moose?
Yep.
And I don't know who his color guy is, but it's John Forsland and someone else. It was really, really well done.
I'm not doubting that it's going to be really, really well done, but I do know that there was an Amazon Prime NFL London game 2 weeks ago,
The Jags and
and
the
I
Booms.
couldn't find it. And I have Amazon Prime.
You have to go to the sports section of the app.
So tonight, the game is not on SportsCenter.
That's correct.
Don't try. You must have Amazon
Sports
Prime.
Center.
Sports Net. Sorry.
Good God.
I get my stuff all mixed up. One Sports Center, one Sports Central.
You're mad, but you have none of your words right. But
I
the spirit's there to be mad at Amazon.
So we're not getting our regular broadcast because we have to go to Amazon
oh
Prime.
my God. Yes, they gave $1 trillion to the league. And no,
Sure.
you can't watch it on your usual channel.
So I'm going to go to my Prime app.
Yep.
Am I going to have, if I pay for Amazon Prime,
Yep.
am I going to have to pay for some extra letter or
No.
plus next to it that will allow me to watch
I
featured
can
events?
imagine you right now turning on your TV, still turning on Sportsnet, and being irate that you can't find it.
John Forsland with a rotating color analyst. It's either Jody Shelley, Thomas Hickey, or Shane Knighty. So all former NHL defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adnan Virk, Andy Petrillo, and Mark Messier.
I love Adnan Virk. Canadian.
Yep.
Great guy.
He's really good.
He's really good.
Messier is apparently only some games, but I would imagine Edmonton game, he's got to be involved.
That's a big contingent of ESPN crew.
There's a decent amount of ESPN there. But what I was saying, and I did this whole charade on Owen every day today, but if you are someone who is technologically competent,
I can do it.
just do a solid.
Will.
Call someone in your life who's not and help them with this. Because my parents are also very good.
My parents are going to be really messed up.
Yeah. So if we just all get ahead of it, one, if you tell a friend and then they tell a friend, everyone will be on the same page here. Also, the last thing you want is to sit down at 6:30. You got your Nation beer in hand. That's me opening my Nation beer. Puck's about to drop 2 minutes into the game and your parents calling you. Hey, how come the game's not on TV? How do I get the game on?
It's Chalmers going, I'm looking at Sportsnet right now. Why are they showing bass fishing?
Just call ahead. Call someone you love ahead and explain to them, or go to their house today and be like, this is how you get the Oilers game on, Grandpa.
The only reason I ask is because for 3 years in a row, I subscribe to the other sports network.
TSN?
Yes.
We can say it.
I know. So I have TSN app,
And they
and
won't let
I've
you watch it in the
constantly
truck.
watched. Yeah, I constantly watch Red Zone on TSN.
Yep.
What's that?
Well, this year,
What's Red Zone?
Red Zone is where they just show. So they show 7 hours of commercial-free football.
In the end, like the
If you get into Red Zone, they only show like, and they go back and forth. It is the most amazingly produced television program.
like NHL on the Fly used to be.
No, because it's got a guy who's there specifically to throw to games, give you updates. But it mostly just shows like Red Zone stuff and then scores. When I went there to watch it this year, it was only available through another subscription, the Plus subscription.
So you need TSN and then TSN Plus.
So I already had TSN. I literally have it because I have it through my cable subscriber.
Yeah, they won't give you Red Zone unless you pay $7 a month.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
So you're worried about that for the Amazon game tonight?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I have right to be.
So I got a DAZN account to watch Red Zone. So me and my buddy split it. Last year we split it. It was like $30 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
It ended up being $22 a month. We go to watch the first Sunday. He's at his house. I'm at my house, obviously. And you go, and it's like, you're trying to watch on 2 TVs. You got to pay an extra $10 a month for that. So I'm like, God damn, like just brutal.
This
And
nickel
then-
and dime horse shit.
But here's the thing that I feel like should be against some sort of business practice. We were like, okay, let's cancel. So we go cancel. We were just going to do the TSN thing because it was cheaper. And then when you go to cancel, when you hit the like, are you sure? It goes, what if we gave you 20% off for the rest of the year? And it just gives... What? That makes me want to go through every subscription I have and go to the last possible step of like discontinuing it.
When you used to get a new truck, it would always have Sirius satellite radio, and you'd have to call and get it hooked up. And they'd be like, okay, well, it's $34 a month. We'll give you a 3-month trial. You see how you like it. After the 3 months, if you call them and you're like, I don't like it, I don't want it, they'll be like, what if it was only $6.99 a month? And you're like, why didn't you just offer me that right off the bat then?
We didn't know you were mad, sir.
You can always, just with everything, if you want a better deal, go to loyalty and customer retention and just say, I'm done. And they'll give you the world.
When I was switching over my cable and phone provider, I was with whoever it was. It was Shaw. No, I'm with Shaw now. So I was with someone else before. No.
Kudo.
Flex.
Whatever it was. I called them and I was like, hey, you guys are charging me a ton. I'm switching to someone else unless you can match the price they're giving me. And my old provider was like, yeah, no, you got the best price, man. I was like, okay, cool. I'm canceling then. They're like, yep, sweet. You're canceled. Went to the new one. They called me a week later and we're like, hey, like you switched. Is there anything we can do to get you back? And I was like, yeah, you can give me the same price as them, but they're coming tomorrow to install the new stuff. You have to tell me by tomorrow. I was like, but match the price and I'll stay because I don't like the headache. And they're like, no, we can't. We can get within $10 of it. And I was like, no, I'm done then. Like, bye-bye. Yeah. Another week goes by. I'm now with the new one, got all the new gear. I've shipped back my other gear. They call me and they're like, we'll beat it by $10 a month, actually. And I was like, what did you guys think I was?
They shipped you all the shit back?
No, I was like, I'm not doing business with you anymore.
You're
I was
a
like,
week late.
I was like, did you think I was bluffing? And they were like, well, no.
Tie don't bluff.
He was like, we just had to, do some back end stuff. But I was like, you charged me that amount for 2 years. Now you're telling me it's the equivalent of like $70 a month cheaper. I was like, you're telling me the whole time you could have given it to me for that. Why would I want to keep giving you more money? And he's like,
because you didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Don't ask, don't get.
100%.
Yeah.
There's a service you can subscribe to that basically makes sure all the things you're subscribed to are the cheapest possible.
Really?
They like negotiate on behalf of all their subscribers with all your subscriptions.
So you pay $5 a month to save like $10 a month on all your
Basically the
subscriptions?
math of it. Smart.
Yeah. Well, there's one called, I think, like Rocket something.
Yeah, there's things you can like get added onto your web browser. I know that'll be like, are there promo codes?
Like, you haven't used this app yet. You've paid for it for 2 months. Yeah. And you're like, God damn it.
You have 46 active OnlyFans subscriptions. You need to cut.
You haven't looked
More
at
foot than the last.
You haven't looked at one video this month.
And if you don't cancel them, it'll ping your wife like a
Pie
doomsday
chart of
clock.
your
Could you imagine if OnlyFans,
96% OnlyFans?
if OnlyFans was like, oh, you want to cancel? Is this your wife? You're like, what? How do you know that?
$9 a month. We won't tell.
We might accidentally send her an email saying that it was supposed to be sent to you about you canceling your subscription unless you just keep it going. The biggest blackmail site in the world.
All you got to do if you want OnlyFans is just go on OnlyFans yourself and say, whatever I make, I'll spend.
Whatever I make, I'll spend.
Whatever I make off my own
What if you go?
I spend on other people's OnlyFans.
What if you end up making like $30,000 a month?
Then what are my problems?
That you have to try to consume $30,000 worth of
At that
OnlyFans
point,
content
I would
a month?
be like, I've exceeded the gravity well. I'm free. I'm in space. But my point is, you can make what you want to spend on OnlyFans if you just want to get your feet out every now and again for businessmen.
You have to be famous already, though, to really get into the feet market.
You think?
Yeah. Or you got to be willing to show face, which, again, would be a line for some people.
For $30,000 a month in Chalmers scenario, are you showing face?
Me?
30G a month?
How much would it take, Tyler, just out of curiosity, for you to get naked on the internet for your fans?
How long is the $30,000 a month going to go on for? Is this
month?
perpetuity?
Yeah.
Whoa, for the rest of your life?
Wow, you're going to get old and wrinkly. No one's going to want to see them feet.
Oh, you have to keep doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's such a job then.
$10,000 a month?
It's no longer just for the love of being naked.
You do all your highlights.
I mean, how many poses can I really come up
Should
with?
I put this in the timestamps I send to the social team so they can clip it for the internet to hear?
Just do a vote.
Gross.
Would you sign up? You do like a pre-order of your OnlyFans.
New.
Like 800 people pre-order it.
That'd be tough.
How do you set your price? Remember Cameo used to have like when you signed up for Cameo,
Based on how famous you are, I would tell you.
they would send like somebody to get in contact with you and then tell you what your best price point would be.
Oh, I didn't even know
Do they
did
do that? Yeah, they used to do that.
I'm sure there's like something on.
It's got to be a hard day when they're like, you know what? It's $6.
You're like,
Aw.
or else, because what had happened was on the Dan Levitard show, they all got Cameo. So then they all got told what they were worth.
Oh, no.
And it was all, imagine if we're like sitting here right now, OnlyFans is like, Wanye, you are worth $10 a month.
Aw.
Tyler, you are worth $8. And Chalmers, you are worth $4. And I'd be like, oh boy, that was unintended consequence of this whole thing.
You know why I get $10 a month, Tyler? Because I know what the people want and I provide. So how much though would it take for you to get naked?
So much.
So much.
$20,000 a month?
Like, again, if you were, I talk in terms of guaranteed money.
Sure.
So if you could say I could make 50 a month.
50 Canadian a month to get naked.
Oh, Canadian? Yeah, definitely 50 then. And then that's 100.
What
so that's
currency were you quoting?
USD. I do a lot of my work in USD.
A lot of your OnlyFans
and
work?
quid.
Quid.
2 years at $50,000 a month. So I want 1.2 mil guaranteed. Then I'll do it.
I think you're overestimating your naked sexiness.
Oh, no, I'm perfectly rated. I'm just saying for the public.
$8,000 a month, you'd do it, I bet.
No.
$8,000 a month?
$8,000 a month.
To
I would
dance
not.
for
It would hurt
Kuwaiti
my ability to
businessmen?
make income here.
No, it wouldn't. We're a progressive company.
Advertisers would not advertise on my show.
Maybe they would want it more. Just different advertisers. Monster Energy.
8 is not enough.
I love how you can only think of one.
Zin.
I'm in. Zen, hit me up. Did you see my Halloween costume on my Instagram
So
story?
funny. How'd you pick the bets?
I just made them up.
Oh.
The one on the front, I actually bet that parlay, which was a great way. Amber was like, you're really putting $50 on this parlay? I'm like, absolutely. Halloween costume. If it hits, it's legendary.
Legendary.
And then on the back, just dumb shit to make my buddies laugh. But I feel like when I said on the podcast what I was being for Halloween, I said that, people were like, but then you see it and you're like, the execution's actually
Were you
kinda
making
funny.
calls all night?
Oh, yeah.
So funny. What was the bit with the calls?
The bit with I did a lot more bits with the money because I ordered like 100 fake $100 US bills.
They look
and I was-
good?
Yeah. And I was just leaving them crumpled up around my buddy's house or like going up to him being like, here, I'll take care of it. That's
good.
Giving them $100.
That's good.
It was a good bit. That's all it's
Fake
about when
money.
you're at a Halloween.
Do we
party
have
like that.
a betting segment today?
Would you like there to be?
Well, I don't know. I just have one of the worst beats in football this year so far happened last night.
Well, let's get into it. Chalmers wants betting talk. We give them betting talk. Brought to you by Bet365, the largest sports betting platform globally. You can download the app today and use the promo code NATION. That's NATION. Get it on a huge range of markets. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, give me this bad beat, Charles. I want it.
The over-under yesterday for Tua Tagovailoa passing yards was 250.
Is this his first game back since injury?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
Sorry, it was 246.5 yards.
What did you do last week? First game back?
I don't remember.
I think
He
he
had a
played
good
okay.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played well.
Okay, go on.
With 5 seconds left in the game.
He's hit his
Over-under,
over. Yeah.
246.5. He was at 254. If you had the over on passing yards for Tua Tagovailoa with 5 seconds left in the game, you were cashed that ticket. You were taking it to the bank.
You were happy.
There was one play left for them to not really win the game. They were most likely like they were going to try and, they were down 3. They were going to try and do one of those plays where you pitch it back a couple times. Unfortunately, what happened was he threw the ball forward about a yard. It then got pitched back to a wide receiver who ran 20 yards backwards and got tackled.
So that counts against his total
That
yard?
counts
Oh
against
my
his
God.
total passing yards.
And you had that bet?
No, I did not.
Oh.
Taking him to 231 yards on the day, making the under cash. Subsequently, the receiving yards for Jalen Waddle for the game were 2 catches for -4 yards and a touchdown. It was the craziest thing. So
Did the Dolphins win?
No, they lost by 3. That play meant nothing. So it's
And the
just
Bills didn't even cover.
didn't even cover. But it's just like we talk about bad beats where you're just like anything can happen in football. You do not know that you've won your bet or your pool until that clock hits 4 zeros and it's done. Man, that's just like betting can be so much fun, but I don't think I do like the wins, but in that case, that loss would have hurt. It would have taken 10 wins to make up for the feeling of that loss.
But isn't that part of the fun of sports betting is the losses just sting?
Yeah.
What's the worst beat of your career you can recall, Tyler?
Well, this weekend I got cooked because I had one parlay that was again a plus 190, and I needed the Saints to beat the Panthers to finish it off, and they couldn't. So that was annoying. And then I had 3 more, I think, that all paid out. They were all $150, $200 payouts. They all missed because Josh Allen went under by 4 yards. I was just sitting there watching the Bills go down at the end of the game, and he heaved that one up to Keon Coleman, who went up, and he was about to make the catch, and then a penalty. Jordan Poyer hit him. Face mask. He drops the ball because of the hit, and it's if he catches that, all my bets win. Whatever. That's why you.
That's why you do it.
That's why you bet responsibly.
That's why you play the game.
And then I went and I did end up winning a couple of my bets. I went 2 and 8. I took that money. I said Oilers puck line. Boom, hit it because Janmark scored with 3 seconds left. So gambling gods giveth, gambling gods taketh away.
So were you up on the weekend?
No, down. But Oilers covered the puck line.
That means you're up again?
No, that just means that.
What was your confidence level at 2-1 last night
for the Oil
with a minute left when we were? Seems like okay, 2 minutes left in the game, power play, and then they pull their goalie and spend the next minute 45 seconds in our zone. The last 30 seconds of it is actually 6 on. I think it was 40 seconds of it was 6 on 5 for them, and they had chances.
There was a play last night where a nurse rang it around the boards and somebody muffed it and went right to a flame, who then passed it. And remember that partial break?
Yep.
Remember that play?
Yep.
When Skinner made that save, I thought we're winning this shit.
Yeah.
He was dialed in last night, man.
Yeah, he was good last
Skinner
night.
played well. He takes a lot of shit on off nights, but I don't see the same amount of support when he plays well. You played great last night, I thought.
That happened to our wingers a lot on the boards. We couldn't get it past their defense. A lot. It's a killer. If you can't get that puck out, that is a killer.
Yeah, the penalty kill drives me nuts. I've been ranting about it for a while. It's super, super annoying. But
You know whose game I'm liking this year is Connor Brown.
yeah, I like him.
He's
just
cold
solid. He's consistent.
stretch he went through.
Yeah.
Should we be creating a Oilers Monday Night Football
Oh, you want to cook something
little
up?
action here
Get
tonight?
in the lab. Get in the lab, Charles, what the kids say.
Get your spoon, get your bowl. cook
Oilers
it
are
up.
not favored.
No, second time this year, they're underdogs. Nashville was the first time, and then this obviously being the second.
So I think Oilers money line, you just take that. That's 1A. You
Oilers
take it.
money line in the over.
Oilers
over.
It's
What's
a
the
high
over?
over 6.5.
Yeah, take it.
No Connor?
Yeah, but Jake Allen's given up 12 goals in his last 2 starts.
The Buffalo Bills quarterback?
Jake Allen, not Josh.
Oh, I see.
Then we pivot over to the Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buccaneers. I think you just throw Chiefs money line in there. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Are the Chiefs shitty but 7-0? Am I following this correctly?
Well, they're not shitty. They're just
offense is
so the Bills are winning right now. The Ravens are winning, and they're putting up, and the Detroit Lions are winning, and they're putting up massive points most weeks. The Chiefs are not. They're winning with like average 17 to 24 points, but their defense is just stopping the other teams, So like they're not these huge blowout victories where it's like, oh, KC's doing KC stuff
Where's
again.
the offense? Where's Mahomes?
They're just, I heard somebody say to me, or it's not to me on a podcast, they were like, I think the Chiefs just know that they're going to make the playoffs. So why throw the kitchen sink every week at the other team? Just like do enough to get there.
Don't get hurt.
Just don't get hurt.
Smart. Load
Don't
management.
waste all your plays. We don't need to run, an obviously older Travis Kelce to 7 for 110 every week in a touchdown. Like we don't need that to win. So let's not do it. Let's just manage what we have to do. So, and I don't know if that's again, it sounds pretty logical to me.
You got distracted from your same game parlay.
The only other one I would say, so Edmonton money line in the over,
Okay.
Kansas City Chiefs and the over.
The money line? So you're not going spread.
No, not spread. Just money line.
And the over.
And then in that game,
Okay. Oh, you're adding more.
just one anytime touchdown.
Who?
Well, my first impression, the Bucks can put up numbers.
Yeah, they can. Baker's good. Oh, I don't know who I like for any time.
What happened to your finger time?
Kansas City or Patrick Mahomes running it in.
Oh,
Who's running the ball right now for Kansas City?
Kareem Hunt's the biggest favorite to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
So if you do that, Chalmers,
Yeah.
Oilers money line over 6.5, Chiefs money line over 45.5, Mahomes anytime TD. It's just over 32-1.
I love it. Just a little sprinkle.
10 into $330.
Just a little. Put down $10.
I'll throw a tenner on that.
I'd throw a tenner on that.
So
Yeah.
320 if you boys hit it?
Hey, why not?
You just cooked up 320 bones?
That's just enough. That's just enough to have fun.
All right now. And how often do these...
That's betting responsibly.
hit? Yeah, I know. Fair. How often do these hit?
14 parlays don't hit very often.
No, there's a lot that
Like
needs to
one
go right
a
Yeah.
there.
The two that I'd be the most worried about on this is the over in the Oilers game and the Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown.
Oh, I thought you did Patty Mahomes.
Well,
I thought you said
that's
you
why
wanted-
it's
That's why
okay.
it's juiced up. 'cause
No,
Patty
okay,
Mahomes-
then I'm definitely the most worried about the Patty Mahomes anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Second to the over under.
Fair.
But hey, I like a little sprinkle.
Little sprinkle.
Here be my parlay tonight. Troy Stetcher, overtime winner.
Yep.
Mahomes, what's the all-time record for passing?
525 yards.
Under.
That was a guess. That might be right.
I don't know. All right, okay. We're going to pause the betting talk for a bit. We're going to wrap up the show. You asked me what happened to my finger?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Mentioned the Halloween party I went to the other night.
Yeah.
Came home from that. A little late.
Little veggie cook-up?
No, I had a fresh baguette I had purchased earlier in the day. And I was like, hell yeah, I want some of that baguette. And Amber was washing up, getting ready for bed. And I took one slice of that baguette, and it was not my baguette. It was my finger.
Oh, no.
And I was looking at it, and there's
We have talked about this. We've talked about you cutting baguette or bagels, right? Baguette or like bread.
this happened on Saturday.
In the past, I swear we've talked about your knife safety when you are hammered.
Did you have a dream about Tyler like I did with the Wemby dream?
Maybe.
Then I just had a massive case of deja vu.
Which is always weird. Anyways, I sliced my finger open and I was watching it bleed onto the floor. And I was like, shit, I probably need a dish towel. So I took our white dish towel and I was like holding it and it was not stopping bleeding. So I was like, Amber, I cut myself. And she was like, quit screwing around. And I was like, no, Amber, I think it's pretty bad. And she's like, you might need stitches. And I was like, ooh, gross. I'm just going to go to bed.
I just want to put a bow on something. That's disgusting. When you cut yourself at night, oh, it's just gross.
Ugh. And then I was getting my stuff ready for hockey last night and I ripped it open again.
Crazy glue.
Yeah, probably could. But Band-Aid works.
That works though. If you just crazy glue and put a Band-Aid over it.
Yeah.
The NFL passing yards single game leaders. Number 4, Joe Burrow with 525 yards in 2021.
Brr.
Tied for second at 527 yards, Matt Schaub in 2012 with the Houston Texans and Warren Moon with the 1990 Houston Texans. Crazy. And number 1, your favorite and mine, Norm Van Brocklin of the Los Angeles Rams in 1951 when he was thrown against plumbers and electricians.
And what did he get?
554.
Shit.
554 yards.
That's a lot of yards.
That's a lot of yards.
It's a lot of yards.
A lot of yards.
All right. Well, good pod, guys.
Not bad.
Yeah, sorry, my
You don't
voice
need
is
all
so
the other
messed up.
People.
Yeah, well, my voice is starting to give now because I feel like I had to talk more than usual. With no
People love that.
Unless you had that finger injury.
Yeah, it kind of hurts.
So we were playing mini stakes and the parents got involved because
As you do after you have a couple cocktails.
yeah, and what this one of the mums took a slash to the finger. Yeah, it didn't look good either. So be careful with your fingers, people.
You gotta be.
Anyways, enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah,
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Call someone you love. Explain how they can get the game on the TV.
You didn't buy enough packages, Dad. You don't get the game.
It was crazy. So last night I had a beer league game. So in the second intermission, it was like, oh, let's drive to the rink. We'll watch the game at the third period at the rink. Then we'll walk down and play our game. And I was driving and it's crazy just going down the street. 90% of people feels like are watching an Oilers game every night. You can see why. I know this is obvious, but like why TV companies pay so much for the rights. Like
in the houses, you mean?
Yeah. It's like as I was just driving down the street because I wasn't at my parents' house, I was just looking like in at all the windows and it was like Oilers game, Oilers game, Oilers game, Oilers game, Oilers game. Everyone just watching the Oilers game. It is wild.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to live in a hockey market. Anyways, that was a really obvious thing to say. Shout out to Nation Beer. Again, grab some everyday lager, game day, whatever day. Crisp, clean, light. Shout out to Odd Company as well. And we'll be back on Thursday. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.